Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another episode of NOSTALgufish. Most of the time on this channel, we take a look at the latest and greatest, the brand new guitar releases. But this is a series where we revisit older guitars in the collection, see how they've held up over time, maybe do some quick upgrades. And today's a very special episode. We're looking at the first high-end guitar that I ever got, this ESP Standard Eclipse 2. Incredible guitar. I love it so much. And we're going to be doing something I've been too scared to do for years. Let's take a closer look. So before we get into it though, huge shout out to Sennheiser for sponsoring today's video. They were kind enough to send over their new Evolution wireless instrument system, and wow, it's been a game changer. Going wireless has been awesome. It's been strangely freeing to not be tied to a cable. Actually, that kind of makes a lot of sense. So maybe not that strange. Now, I've been very hesitant about going wireless. I've not used a wireless system before because, well, honestly, I play guitar every day for a living. What I had worked. I'd heard so many horror stories of wireless systems going wrong, and I was worried adding anything might break the system. But this has been unbelievably easy and reliable right out of the box. It's literally all the plug and play functionality of using a cable, minus the cable aspect. I was amazed. I just put the batteries in and then it worked exactly like it was supposed to. According to Sennheiser, the design philosophy was you don't have to be the mechanic to drive the car. And to that end, it also comes with the Smart Assist app, which can scan the area to find open frequencies and will automatically set up the wireless connections where they won't have any interference. Yeah, the entire thing is sick. It's wireless on easy mode. It's what I'll be using for this whole video and probably basically everything else going forward because wireless is just so nice. For more information, I'll leave some links in the description for you to check out. But for now, let's talk this ESP Standard Eclipse 2. So this guitar is very special to me. It was my main guitar from when I was in a band. I played the crap out of this thing. Like, you can see the gold plating wearing off the bridge from years of the chugs. As I said, this was my first truly high-end guitar. It opened up that whole world of premium instruments. Before this, I didn't understand why anyone would pay more than $1,500 for any guitar. Then I got the Eclipse, and it was like, oh, well, that's why. The quality, the attention to detail, it was a massive step up from anything else I'd ever played. Don't get me wrong, I still love my affordable guitars, like that's the main focus of the channel, and especially these days, the quality of even budget guitars is crazy for the money, but this is just next level. Since this is a 2010, it was before ESP rebranded ESP Standard to E2. The new E2 logo, it just doesn't look as cool, while the older ones have the classic script on the headstock. Luckily, there are still plenty of these ESP standards floating around on eBay and on Reverb, and that's kind of why I wanted to cover this guitar. You can pick these or E2 Eclipses up used at great prices. The going rate these days seems to be about $1,000. I've even seen a couple recently listed for like 800 bucks, and in my opinion, that's one of the best deals in the current market for a premium level Japanese-made guitar. This plays so unbelievably well. Even for as long as I've had it, it still blows my mind when I pick it up just how easy and inspiring it is to play every single time. The thin U neck shape is incredible. It's not an Ibanez Wizard, nor is it a 50s rounded. It's a perfect in-between, so it's fast, and it's got a little something to hold on to. ESP calls their frets extra jumbo, and they really mean it. Even compared to other quote-unquote extra jumbo frets, the ones ESP uses seem to be absolutely massive, and it's so easy to fret a note with a light touch. Obviously, the fretwork itself is perfection, then ESP polishes the crap out of their fingerboards. It's like playing on glass. I haven't needed to set it up that many times in the 10 years I've had it. It's so stable. Slightly thinner body, and yet it's still fairly heavy at 8.5 pounds, so I don't know what kind of high-end woods they're using, but it doesn't feel light and cheap. Sleeker than a thick boy Les Paul for sure, but it's still got that classic single cut chunk to it. Go to hardware, obviously that's super high quality stuff. For me, in terms of high-end modern single cuts, this is the gold standard. This is the one that I compare all the others to. And the fact you can get them for $1,000 or even less used is insane. Incredible value that I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of. Now this still has the stock pickups, EMG 81 in the bridge, EMG 60 in the neck. It's a classic metal set. Everyone's used the 81. James Hetfield, Matt Heafy, Kirk Hammett, Zach Wilde. The biggest criticism it gets is that it's too sterile, it's too compressed. It has a signature sound that doesn't seem to depend at all what guitar it's in. People have literally attached it to a shovel and it still sounds like an 81. So the only mod I've done to this guitar is thrown an extra 9-volt battery into the circuit, add some extra headroom, bring back some of those dynamics. And I do think they sound good. Like, a lot of the music that got me into metal was recorded with EMGs. That being said, right now for active pickups, I'm really into the Fluence stuff. Like, annoyingly so for regular viewers, I'm sure. Put them in a lot of guitars. But look, in fairness, it has been a while since I've done a Fluence install. I've also never been really in love with the black plastic pickup covers in this guitar. I think gold would look epic. So my bud Ken Susi has sent over a set of the Fishman Fluence Moderns with gold covers for us to throw in there. Let's open it up and see what we're working with. And here is why, for years, I've been too scared to do this. This wiring, it's basically art. Like, the person that did this is a master of their craft. Meanwhile, if there's an opposite of being a master of soldering, that's kind of where I've been. Janky DIY wiring in a cheap guitar is one thing. Janky DIY wiring in something like this, well, that just seems disrespectful. But I think my skills have improved. My luthier Wendell has taught me some things to the point where I'm more confident it can be done without the final job being massively offensive. Let's see what happens. Couple interesting things here. Firstly, all these years of dead skin is disgusting. Two, yeah, usually you should get rid of the strings. A bit of my very frugal Asian side coming out. These are new strings. I'm gonna try not to get rid of them unless I absolutely have to. Clear tones are not cheap. Third, I thought these were pre-Quick Connect EMGs. Like, all the EMG installs I've done have had the full Quick Connect system, so that was like the pots and the switch and everything. I didn't know there were any quick connections in this. Now, these connections are compatible with Fishman Fluence, so if I wanted to, I could just hot swap the Fishmans and it would work. Like, I wouldn't have to build the whole new circuit or anything. The only thing is, one of the big reasons that I love the Fishman Fluence stuff is you get the multiple voices, and if you just hook it up to this, you're only getting voice 1. You're not getting voice 2, which is the more passive feeling one. So I'll still be rewiring the whole thing. I just wanted to let you guys know that it's possible. If you've got a guitar with EMGs and you want to put the Fishmans in, you can hot swap them. And the last thing, it looks like the ground isn't going to the bridge, it's going to under the neck pickup. I don't think functionally there's any difference. I've just never seen that before. It was interesting. Okay, so I guess there's a chain of ground wires, just to be extra sure, I guess? I don't know, I've never seen that before. Cool. Okay, good news. I've been looking at the wiring diagram and comparing it to the connections that are already in there. And it doesn't actually seem like I need to do that much. Like, I can leave most of this alone. I really only need to rewire the tone pot to get that second voice functionality. If I wanted to, I could also wire in a second push-pull for the high frequency tilt. That's something I've got wired up in my 72 Custom with the Willie Adler signature set. And to be honest, I really don't use it that much, or like ever. So I think that's actually what I'm gonna do. I'm only going to take this out and replace it with a push-pull. That way I can keep most of the wiring intact and I don't have to do major surgery on the circuit. And I'll get all the functionality that I'll actually use from it. All right, let's swap out the tone pot. while we have the strings off, I thought I might point this out. You know, this has taken 10 years, but there are some noticeable dents in the frets. You know, people ask, even if you've got high quality nickel silver, which is what ESP uses, would you still go stainless steel frets? I mean, as I said, I played this guitar a lot, so if this is stainless steel, you wouldn't be seeing this. Even after 10 years, 20 years, like there's not too much wear on the other frets. I live in the low chuggy ones. Stainless steel is much harder. When you polish it, it kind of stays that way. Like this isn't too bad when you play it, you can't really feel it, but if you can avoid it, then why wouldn't you? Okay, I want to go on record as saying I hate wire management. I didn't even change that much. How is even this messed up now? You know what? Luckily, ESP included a solution. There we go. Perfect. So clean. Wow, that looks great. The pickups are super modern under the hood, but visually it's got more of that traditional class to it now. Love it. And the fun thing about the wiring scheme in here now is that any pickup with Quick Connect can be hot swapped in. So that's any EMG, any Fluence, and you've got access to that second voice. Even if it's just a visual change, like when the new Matt Hafey set drops, that might be cool in here. It's the same Fluence modern set, but with a black cover and a gold Fluence squiggly thing. Would take like 5 minutes to swap it in and test it out. Same thing if I felt like going back to the 8160 for a classic active sound. But for now, this is sick. Let's plug it in and get some tones. Yeah, man, this guitar is just unbelievably nice. Running this YouTube channel, I've had the incredible privilege of trying out all kinds of guitars. Other shapes, more strings, higher price tags, and this is still one of my all-time favorites, one of the main ones that I gravitate towards. It's been a 10-year honeymoon period. It is literally just that good. And then in terms of EMG versus Fluence, I mean, I'm glad I did the install. It sounds fantastic. You can kind of hear why I don't necessarily fully recommend the swap if you've already got EMGs though, unless you're planning to make use of the second voice, because then it's like having an active and a passive set of pickups swappable in the same guitar. If you're only going for an active sound, the tone is fairly similar between the two. The Fluences have a tighter, clearer sound, which you can really feel while you're playing. They feel more responsive and more alive. They're just more fun to play, which to me is really important. If you're only looking for recorded tone alone though, in the context of a full mix, I don't think the differences are super noticeable to the listener. But if you're looking to go active from a completely non-active start point, would 100% recommend the Fish Influences, no question. But yeah, overall was really happy with this guitar before. Now I'm even happier. guitar prices are a little crazy right now, but these have been generally undervalued on the used market, so if you can find one of them secondhand for a good price, get it. It's still one of the kings of modern single cuts. These are seriously high-end. The amount of quality you're getting, and especially per dollar, is insane. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. YouTube algorithm likes to see all those things. All hail the YouTube algorithm. This is my recommendation, but what guitar do you think has been criminally undervalued on the used market that we should be on the lookout for? I'd love to know what you're thinking in the comments. Thanks to Sennheiser for sponsoring today's video. Social media, merch, and Discord server links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I'll see you for the next video.